It was a bright morning in a small town where a family of three lived together in a modest home. The father, Kola, was known as a hard-working man. Every day, he left the house early and returned late. He often talked about business, work, and money. To everyone looking from the outside, he seemed like a responsible provider. But inside the home, things were different. Kola's wife, Amara, did her best to take care of the family. She cooked, cleaned, and made sure their young son, Tunde, was cared for. Tunde was a cheerful boy who loved spending time with his parents. He especially admired his father and always hoped they could spend more time together. Unfortunately, Kola rarely paid attention to his family. Whenever Tunde wanted to play, Kola was too busy. Whenever Amara needed help, Kola always had an excuse. He claimed he was working hard for them, but somehow the family never seemed to benefit from all the work he talked about. What nobody knew was that Kola had been secretly saving money for himself. Instead of using it to support his family, he hid it away where no one could find it. Whenever Amara asked for money for household needs, he always claimed he didn't have any. As time passed, the family continued to struggle. Tunde began to notice that his father was never around when he was needed. The little boy often sat by himself, wishing things were different. Amara tried to remain patient, hoping that one day Kola would realize that what truly mattered.
Papa, can you fix it?
Not now.
Papa, will you take me to the park today?
I have work. Maybe another day. I have to go.
Then one day, Amara became ill. At first, it seemed like a minor sickness. She felt tired and weak, and she continued trying to care for her family. However, as the days passed, her conditions worsened. The house that was once filled with warmth began to feel heavy and quiet. Sunday grew worried as he watched his mother
We need food supplies.
I will handle it.
struggle with simple tasks. He stayed close to her, helping in whatever way he could. Amara knew she needed medicine. She knew she had to see the doctor. But when she asked Kola for help, he gave the same answer he always did. He said he had no money. And then she would just make use of traditional medications to help herself. Days later, another problem appeared. Tunde became sick too. It started with a cough and a fever. Soon he became weak and tired. The energetic boy who once ran around the house now spent most of his time lying down. Amara became deeply concerned. She knew her son needed medical attention as soon as possible. She did all she could, also begged Kola to do something, but once again, he insisted he had no money. As the days passed, Tunde's condition became worse. The little boy struggled to eat. He barely had the energy to move around. Amara watched helplessly while worrying about both her son and her own health, in which she had just tried to maneuver. The situation inside the house became more serious with every passing day. One night, after seeing his son lying weakly on the bed, Kola could no longer ignore reality. For the first time, he sat quietly and thought about everything that had happened. He remembered all the times he had chosen work over family and the excuses he had made. At that moment, the painful truth hit him. He had the means to help the family all along. The problem was never a lack of money, it was just his selfishness. Fear and regret rushed through him, and without wasting any second, Kola hurried to retrieve the money he had been hiding for so long, rushed his family to the hospital, and prayed it wasn't too late. The doctors immediately began treating Tunde and examining Amara. After several hours, they finally spoke with Kola. Tunde will recover, but because treatment had been delayed, his recovery would take much longer than it should have. And they would have many other hospital visits, medicines, and expenses ahead. Kola felt guilt in his heart. He realized that his choices had caused unnecessary suffering for the people he loved most. The money he had hidden for years quickly disappeared as medical bills piled up. Day after day, week after week, he spent more of his savings helping the son recover. By the time it was fully gone, he had understood the consequences of his actions. When Tunde began to improve, Amara also regained her strength, and as the family healed, Kola had to change. He stopped putting himself first. He became more involved in the family's daily life, and he spent more time with Tunde, helped Amara around the house. He listened more and cared more. For the first time, the family felt united. Kola had learned a lesson that he never would forget. Money is important, but it should never come before the people who depend on you. A good parent is not measured on how much money they keep. A good parent is measured on how well they care for the family. And from that day forward, Kola worked hard, not just to earn money, but to be the husband and father his family deserved, because true responsibility begins at home. And I hope you get a moral from the story. That responsibility means being there for your family when they need you the most. Money has value, but the people you love are priceless.
Like the video and also subscribe to my channel.